Hey there, Chris Wheatley here from Hot Tub University, and today we're going to take a real quick video here, and we're just going to talk about the 5 things that you really care about when you're buying your hot tub. Folks, there's so many sidetrack issues, misinformation and outright bullshit out there that you just need to ignore. There are 5 things, count them, 5, that really matter when you're buying your hot tub. Number 1, your dealer. Me. You got a guy who knows what the hell they're doing. The chances are they've made a good buying decision. You got a guy that's been carrying the same line for 20 years, even if the line's not the top line. That guy knows the nuances of that particular line and probably will be a good dealer. It's a really important thing unless you happen to be a super handyman. So you're the kind of guy that can use a multimeter and don't mind taking care of, you're not high maintenance. You don't mind taking care of your own stuff. Hey, it opens up your market then. You can buy out of your market. You can buy from tent sales. You can buy all kinds of stuff. If you're not that person, don't screw around. Make sure the dealer that you're dealing with knows what the hell they're doing. And there's a few things you can check on there. Watch my video on dealers. It'll talk about that a little bit more. Next thing you're looking at, guys, shell construction. Simple. You want hand-rolled fiberglass, self-supporting hull. What that means, if they've got props and supports under the shell, just take a side off and look under there. If you see a 2x4 or anything going up underneath that shell and holding it, that means the shell's too thin to support its own weight. It means they've had to cradle support it. It's not a good thing. It doesn't mean that they're going that extra mile and doing even more by reinforcing it, by supporting it. It means it's a cheap, thin shell that can't support its own weight, that they've had to put props and supports under. Hand-rolled fiberglass shells are stupid expensive. Forget these bloody resins and plastics. None of them are nearly as durable or nearly as good or frankly as expensive to build as a good hand-rolled fiberglass shell. And you want a vinyl ester resin primary layer on the acrylic, and that prevents osmosis and blistering. So you want this thing multi-layers of glass, hand-rolled, self-supporting, so it doesn't have props or supports. It'll last forever. The next thing's the parts. Guys, you do not want some meathead that's going to China and making a part that just fits his spot that you can never get anywhere else except for the guy that bought the part in the first place. Because, man, it puts you in a terrible position. Anytime you need a replacement part, you got one source for it, if they can still get it. Never a good scenario. So these guys that are popping over to China, and it's in third world markets where they can buy cheap junk and putting it in their hot tub and saying they're doing it to make a better tub. They're not. They're making it to save money and to lock you in. You want a good parts list, and you want a non-proprietary parts list. You want something you can get the parts for anywhere. Balboa, Waterways, even Gecko. There's a number of good North American brands. I love Waterways and Balboa. I think they're the best 2 out there. Hey, guess what? They're also the most expensive. Common thread here, man. Spend the money, spend the money, spend the money. Next thing, plumbing lines. You want the lines from your jets to go back to a head manifold for a good even pressure. Most guys do this. Some guys still loop jet, which means they just go jet to jet to jet, but not too many. And you want the joints dip glued, like everybody does, and you want them hand clamped, okay? Or machine clamped, I don't give a shit. As long as they got a clamp on the joint so that we're not dealing with just something that's glued into place. Those things will never leak. That'll eliminate so much trouble, so much problems down the road. And the last thing is insulation. Guys, there's no magic bullets out there. These meatheads out there selling Mylar insulation and reflective insulation, bad people. You know this is cheap junk. This stuff made a heyday in the 80s in the building industry. You go online, man, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, all the northern U.S. states, the Canadian Mortgage Housing Authorities, everybody has poo-pooed this system for containing heat within a system. It is good at reflecting radiant heat, but it has very little thermal mass. It's only R1 rated. It cannot contain heat into a system worth a damn. So stay away from the reflectives, and I don't care if they're copper or Mylar, whatever the hell they are. Reflective insulation is cheap. Simple as that. And it does not perform anywhere near as well as an expanded foam. Perimeter insulation, again, cheap, guys. We can make this sound good, but use your bloody head. They're only paying for 2 or 3 inches of insulation. That means it's just inexpensive to do. That means that your R value is only maybe 15 or 18, tops. This isn't doing you any favors. This is making a cheap tub. This is cutting corners. Fill the cavity. And the only way to do that is it's got to be a foam that doesn't harden up. And yes, it's open-celled. And here's where they're going to trick you. A closed-cell foam, it's got a higher R value than open-cell foam. Look, closed-cell foam's got all kinds of problems. It suffers from thermal drift. It decreases in R value over time. Yes, it's slightly more per inch. But man, when you're talking about a guy using 1.5 inches or 2 inches versus a guy using a closed-cell foam, maybe hitting R18 or R15, and a guy using an average of 10 inches of open-celled foam, man, he's hitting like R25 or R30. It's stupid. Forget it. Dumb things. And I'll tell you, You stick to guys that do the 5 things. Okay, well, 4, because the dealer, doesn't have anything to do with the factory. The 4 things: hand rolling the fiberglass shell with a vinyl ester resin core, gluing and clamping the joints, using a good components list, and filling the cavity with insulation. You're going to cut yourself down to, probably 10 guys out there, maybe in the whole world, or 15. And man, those are the guys that are spending the money on the hot tub. And that's what you want. You want someone spending the money on the hot tub, not on the bullshit, not on the marketing, not on this brand awareness. Because I'll tell you what, the best business model out there for a hot tub company right now, it's not to build an awesome hot tub. It is to build a mid-grade hot tub and to bamboozle you with brand recognition, bullshit marketing, advertising, and a proprietary parts list, and they can just keep pulling money out of you forever. So stick with the 5 things. This will cut out most of the bad stuff in your life. You will end up with a decent product that will do what it says on the label and take good care of you. Chris Wheatley, Hot Tub University. Thanks for your, shortest video I ever did, almost 6 minutes. Oh, God, I talk a lot. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.